Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Excited to do this with you guys. Here we go.
He challenged me. He said, you should meet 2 or 3 people every day.
We're talking about how to level up on LinkedIn and engagement. Being the go-giver, the idea that being open to opportunity.
We're all dealing with challenges, but how do you overcome that?
Master Connector with Steve Spiro and Cameron Toth is live on air.
Here we go. There we are. All right.
Here we are. All right.
Absolutely. Well, let me just hide you for a moment. And so, hey, I am on by myself. Well, I have Shelly, so I'm not totally technically by myself. But my co-host Cameron is doing family stuff, which I respect and admire. So no disrespect to that, but I'm just excited to be on with you guys here. I told Shelly backstage, my training wheels are off. I'm ready to go, and Cameron's been training me for this moment, so we're good to go. He's the tech guy, and I'm just a ugly, pretty face, whatever you want to call it. So, but yeah, I am excited. So, hey, what's up, friends? It's Steve Spiro, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct. And so here's my question, right? Success, it's really just a cakewalk, right? Leadership, it's easy. No? Listen, for years and years and years, I was in a dark place. I really was. And, but my mess has now become my message. And it's my vision to be the light and to help light the pathway for others, honestly, right? And today we're going to explore what it takes to become a successful leader. Leadership is not just about power and authority. It's not positional. It's about the ability to inspire, motivate, and guide others toward a common goal. It's about creating a vision, building a team, and taking action to achieve success. But the path to success and leadership is not easy, as we said, right? It's filled with challenges, obstacles, setbacks, and things that test our resilience and determination. And that's why one of the pillars of our show is having the grit to overcome obstacles, right? So today we're going to share stories, insights, and strategies that will help you navigate the path to leadership. So whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting out, in my opinion, this show is for you, right? So if you're ready for us to light up the path to lead and let us introduce our guest, I'd like you to type in right now in the comments, #let's go. Okay. I am not good. I didn't prepare that one. So you're listening to me, just type in #let's go. And we're going to introduce Shelly, and I'm going to do it as best I can. I don't do it with the charisma that Mr. Cameron has, but I'm going to bring Shelly up here, and I am going to introduce her. So Shelley Harrison is the CEO and founder of Luminary Leaders, a full-service professional agency specializing in representing world-class CEOs, thought leaders, best-selling authors, military speakers, and public figures. A one-stop solution for CEOs and thought leaders, Luminary Leaders offers consulting and services, professional representation, and management, including value-added publicity and branding to amplify their influence. She is also the host of the Luminary Leader Live, which I was blessed to be on, and a host on Women Lead Radio, and a co-host of the Veterans Show Live. So please welcome to the Master Connector Show, the Luminary Leader herself, Shelley Harrison.
Oh, thank you so much, Steve. I am so honored to be here, and you did a great job. I know it's not easy doing it single-handedly. There's a lot of bells and whistles that you have to deal with.
I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. The more now I have even more appreciation for Cameron, right? Because he does his magic, he does his thing, and I see how he does it. So. So great to have you on. I know I was blessed to be on your show, as I mentioned, and we want to talk really today about leadership. We want to talk about being the light and lighting a path, and And so the first thing and again, I said before, right? One of the pillars of our show is overcoming obstacles. So we want to talk about challenges. And so I want your community right now, type in, there it is, #challenges. And put it in the comments. All right. We're LinkedIn participants, not LinkedIn lurkers, right? So get in the comments, connect with each other. This is a community, right? So get to know each other, get in the comments. But if you're not putting something in the comments, nobody knows you're watching the show, including us. So get in there. So if you don't know what to type in #challenges. So here's the question, right? We all have challenges. Tell us about your biggest one, Shelley, and how you've had the grit to overcome that challenge.
Yeah. And you know what? As much as I didn't want to start off with the pandemic, it was the pandemic, where I have clients that we represent, speakers that were on stages, that were, traveling and, just sharing their greatness on stage. So back in 2020, we had to really transition to a new way of doing things. But I think that was probably one of the biggest challenges, but it really turned out to be a blessing, where we were able to, and I don't like the word, but I'm going to use it, pivot, and really kind of recreate what we were doing. So, now the good thing is, after just the pandemic and things have changed, now we're, back on stage. Things have changed a little bit, where they're hybrid or events, conferences, summits, and those types of things. Plus, a lot of podcasters emerge. So there are a lot of opportunities, for our clients to be on podcast and radio shows.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's one of the biggest challenges that we face,
or
that I faced.
Yeah. And, a lot of us have, right? And, it's, for me, the pandemic was actually the biggest blessing for me as well. It turned into being just an opportunity to pivot, to really, kind of reinvent myself, kind of redefine who I am. And I felt more connected than ever before because of the pandemic, because we were now connecting with people through platforms like Zoom and video casting, right? We launched the show in the thick of the pandemic, right? The Master Connector show, right? November 20th, right? So in the thick of everything.
You remember, you remember the day. How about that?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been an interesting journey, but all right, so let's keep this moving. So we want to, kind of talk now about, so type in #TellUs community. Again, we're in this together, right? So let's do this. So, I noticed, and we've spoken about this, right? You have a heart for, a passion for the military. So I'd like to know kind of how that started for you and where that comes from, and just share a little bit about that and your love.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, I not only am I a co-director for the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce, I also I'm a co-host on the Veterans Radio Show, but really the way that it started, Steve, was on LinkedIn. So, kind of going back, and this is, like 6 years ago, I had sent a message to the executive director of the National Veterans Chamber. And I said, if you do events, we'd love to, provide some of our speakers for your events. And that really started a fantastic partnership relationship where I have been, doing a lot of work with our veterans. We have military speakers that we represent, but it's just been a passion of mine because, my father-in-law was, he was in the military, and I have a lot of family members that were also in the military. So really helping, build programs and really create from the beginning, where we were just kind of starting out, and creating all of these different programs to help and support military families, spouses, and, of course, those that served. So it started on LinkedIn.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
And, I was trying to find it. I'm on a different computer now, just again, dealing with technology here. But when I don't have the Master Connector brand behind me, what's always behind me, and I think you and I, when we first did our initial conversation, was, my grandfather's burial flag. And I have a huge heart, like you, for the military and the men and women that serve our country, and also the families behind that, because they give just as much of a sacrifice, different kind of way, but there's also sacrifice on their side as well. So again, thank you for really supporting the community and all of you there. That's great. That you know,
Yeah,
our military men and women need it for sure.
yeah, it's been a pleasure. And we just celebrated Memorial Day weekend, and we
Yes,
definitely want to, you know, all of those folks that we want to just salute that have been men and women that have
absolutely.
served.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
They gave it all, right? Men and women
Yes,
gave it all. They really
some
did.
gave the ultimate.
And
Yeah,
the ultimate sacrifice, right? And we wouldn't have the freedoms that we have today in
that's
this
right.
country if it wasn't for that. And the freedoms that are around the world, right? I know there's, this is probably controversial about, us, going out to other places, but you know what? Here's my theory on that, right? Are you the kind of person that if you see somebody getting beat up or something happening, you just let it go? Or
No,
do you step in and help,
say
right?
something, do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so you could say, well, it's their business. Okay, well, if you're seeing injustice, do you just let it go? Right? I
yeah.
mean,
You don't.
so yeah, I think we are on the same page with that one. So
We are.
yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So we want to kind of move forward here. Now, you
Mhm.
in the introduction, you referred to, and I know in your show and this word luminary, right? And
Yeah.
luminary speaker and luminary leader and all that.
Yeah.
So can you tell us briefly what that means to you, Shelley? What's a luminary speaker?
Yeah, and when I think of luminary, I just think of, light and lighting that pathway and meeting people where they are in their journey. But luminary speakers is just kind of a byproduct of our company, which is Luminary Leaders. But the word just resonates with a lot of people because people want to feel luminary when they're on stage, and it's just a term that I think people realize that, to be someone that's on stage and be luminary, they have to differentiate themselves and they have to really embrace an audience. So it's just kind of a word near and dear to my heart. And it was a business name that we started with in the very beginning. And it was just clear that, gosh, this makes perfect sense because we're representing, a variety of different people.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, so again, what we talk about on the show, right, is to be the light, uplift, and inspire and encourage, right? That's our mission of the show and my
Yeah,
personal mission in life. And we're just so aligned because when you light a path, right, for other people, right? Number one, when you light the path, you're lighting a path for yourself, but you're also lighting a path for people behind you, right? And
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's about leadership too,
yeah.
being able to lead people and teams and yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. Yeah, so here's what we want to dig into. Now we're kind of talking big picture stuff, and we want to get into now the nitty gritty, if you will. So we want to talk about the how a little bit, right? So type in community #how, and again, thank you. A big shout out to Yolanda. She is so loyal. We appreciate you, Yolanda, being on here with us and always being a supporter of us. And thank you again for you. And it looked like you're welcoming some other people on the show for us, so we appreciate that. But and there is a few people on that they're showing as LinkedIn user, so unfortunately can't identify who you are. So there's a way to do it. Cameron knows it better than me. Whoever you are, you love it so much.
We
So
appreciate them being here.
yeah,
Yeah,
appreciate that. Yep,
most
yep,
definitely.
for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how, right? So what is how do you authentically differentiate yourself on social media to build new connections, right? So that covers a few parts of what we like to talk about on the show, right? Connecting
Yeah.
authentically and then also building community. So this question really, I'd love to get your perspective on what your take on that is.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this on my show too. I really feel that you're not necessarily a personality on, social media, but you're a person first. And I think when people really start to be real about, their challenges and things that they're going through, and even the wins, the losses, whatever that happens to be, and sharing authentically, engaging with people in a way, where you can kind of scroll through there depending on how much time you have on social media, just going through there and connecting with people in a way that is not necessarily, you know, just like or share or love or whatever those emojis are, but really saying something and giving them a taste of your personality and the way that you really connect with people, you know, where I'll do certain, you know, people that I know that I followed or that have followed me, you know, I'm very connected and I want them to know, you know, how much I support them. So I'll do a lot of different things. I'll share out things for people and give my comments, you know, just to really show my authentic self. And I'm kind of an introvert in a way, and a lot of people would say, how could you be an introvert when you know, host 3 shows? But really, you know, even going on this show, I mean, I know I had some issues with my camera. So my camera, you know, is the one thing that I absolutely depend on. So I'm being authentic, you know, where I'm I'm more comfortable with my camera than I am with my computer camera. So, you know,
That's awesome.
it's the way that you show up. Yeah.
Love
But
that.
being authentic
Yeah.
and real.
Big part of what we're about, and I'm just gonna get a little authentic and a little maybe self-promoting a little bit, but I'm excited because I've been doing a lot of posting on LinkedIn about the launch of my book. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
and thank you. And
That's awesome.
this is actually the proof copy, so it's got a bar through it. Like, but I got a bunch more ordered that are not going to have the bar on it, and it just came out. So I'm super excited. It's the Tao of a master connector, right? That's the and Tao meaning the way or path of a master connector. And if you look at the subtext here, it says the way an introvert became a master connector. And you know, listen, I like to speak about that, right? You were talking about yourself, right?
Yeah.
That I was an introvert and maybe probably still am, right? Maybe extrovert, introvert, or introverted, extrovert, whatever they say. But I think it's important because, you know, I had somebody recently connect with me today and she said, listen, I really wanted to, get on a call with you because I read your bio, and in my bio on LinkedIn, I'm very authentic and very much speak about, you know, some of the challenges I had growing up and certainly into my adulthood. But I believe that's what makes us relatable, and people connect better when you're authentic, for sure. Yeah. And so it's a great way to build community and to have people that are like-minded or perhaps, you know, maybe they're not exactly like you, but they feel like there's something about you that they're drawn to, right? And that doesn't happen when you're a shell or you're this, you know, perfect person on it, you know, on social media, right? This is not.
Yeah. I don't think people expect perfection. You know, I really feel, even on LinkedIn, you know, that's my go-to platform. And I can't even tell you how many connections. I just think about the people that, you know, Joe Molina, who's the executive director of the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Had I not reached out to him and had that authentic connection, I wouldn't have, you know, the partnership that we have today. I mean, we're doing all different types of things that are helping and supporting our veterans. But in the same token, I also have connected with other people that are my biggest champs or cheerleaders, you know, where they're always in support of whatever I do and vice versa, where I'm definitely in support of what they do. And it does make a difference. It definitely does. And these are people all over the world, you know, and how exciting is that to be able to talk to people? I mean, I'm in California, you know, and you're in the Eastern time zone, and, you know, it's great that we have this connection.
It's amazing. That's the beauty of technology, right? We could have a virtual cup of coffee, and whereas before, and that's why I felt more connected than ever when COVID hit, because I was able to connect with, you know, someone amazing like you, Shelly, where we can get on a call. Whereas before, you know, if you're ever in New York area, let's grab a coffee.
Come see you.
That would happen.
Have some coffee or lunch.
Maybe 10 years later, maybe, you know, whereas now you can do it right on the spot.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can wear yoga pants or, you know, whatever you want to wear from the, you know, top down, right?
I'm all suited up on the top, but you don't want to know what's down below. Okay. It's interesting, but no, you're right. You can the yoga pants and shorts and all that kind of good stuff.
Just don't stand up.
Let's keep things moving. So community, I want you to type in #define. Okay. And so put in the comments there, #define. And by the way, I am going to figure out a way while Shelly's speaking, I'm going to figure out a way to kind of put the link to my book on Amazon somehow in the chat. I'm going to figure that out not have my co-host here. But if you are looking to get the book, I would love to get it from you. And direct message me if you want to get it personally from me. I'll sign it for you. Or if you order it, and we'll figure out if you're in the New York area, we'll connect. We'll grab a coffee if you're local, and I'll sign it, with you. But anyway, we want to talk about define. So hashtag define. And so here's the question: define true leadership and what it means to you, Shelley, if you would.
Oh, wow. I was in the banking industry for many, many years. So I was in the corporate sector for a long time. But leadership to me is really someone that is connected to people, and in a way where they feel that they can be supportive. They can really get to that point with them where they can be in a circumstance or circumstances where they can have open communication, and making sure that, people are supported and that they're learning in terms of, leadership. I think a lot of leaders where, they're caught up in all of their, the minutia of their own role, and sometimes just really being present with, with your team, with your organization, whatever that might be. And leadership is, a lot of people are experts on leadership. And, when you think of it, it's, I don't know, it's just a term that I think a lot of folks that are leaders, they're always improving their personal development, trying to really become more, not necessarily educated, but I think they're really trying to hone in on how they can become better leaders. So I think continual, personal development. For example, I have been reading quite a bit. And one thing that I just recently implemented with our company is the 12-week year. So if you're familiar with it, so that helped me with my team to become a little bit more, on that leadership level, where I'm leading them in this program. And it's a whole program. And, it's not easy. It's something that, you're doing in 12 weeks versus 1 year, but it was something that I knew as a leader that I needed to change. I needed to really have kind of that structure and that system. So yeah, that's kind of leadership, and I've been in leadership roles for many, many years. And now it's, here I am in my office. You can see my office. I'm solo, but I have my team virtually. So it's kind of nice to be able to still, be that in that leadership role and help them to be successful.
Sure. Yeah. That's amazing. So, first of all, I'm a big John Maxwell reader. I've read a lot of his books on leadership, and he talks about leadership is spelled EXAMPLE, example, right?
Yes,
You are
exactly.
Yeah. And so it's who you are, right? It's who you are, not only in public, but how you live in the dark. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And
how you show up, with
how you
your
show up
team,
and,
or, those that you serve.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's definitely about service, right? It's, a lot of times in the corporate arena, they talk about, management, but to me, it's leadership and leading by example and setting the right tone,
Exactly.
And also service. And, it's interesting, Shelley, you have behind you, over your shoulder, if you will, there's a starfish there, it looks like, right? That's a starfish. Right?
Yeah, that is a starfish.
And I may have said this on the show before, I don't remember, but I love this story of an old man. He's on the beach, and he's kind of a skeptical, crotchety old man. He's walking on the beach, and in the distance he sees a young boy, and he sees the boy throwing some stuff into the water, and he's like, doesn't know why he's doing it, whatever. As he approaches, he sees a bunch of these starfish. They had washed up on the shore. I guess they, big storm at sea or whatever. And as he got closer, he saw the boy was throwing stuff in. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing, boy?" With his attitude and skepticism. And the young boy bends over, picks up a starfish, throws it back in the water. He said, "I made a difference with that one." Yeah. And he's like, and so what's one life, and I screwed that up because he said,
no, but
what possible difference can you make here, is what the old man said. And he's like, right. Well, I made a difference with that one. That's how.
Yeah. And I've heard that story before, but now that, that starfish now has new meaning for me.
Yes, it does.
Now
right.
that you shared that story, because I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it as, it's going to complete my room. And if you can't really tell the color, but I kind of went with a beach scene here in the office, and, and it's warm and cozy, and, but I do a lot of business here too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have a different, when you see that
I
starfish over
do.
your shoulder, you
Yeah.
can say, okay, you can think of the story. But to me, that's leadership, right? It's how many people are better because you are here. That's what true success is about, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of that, we're going to move on to the last topic here before we close out the show and kind of get some takeaways. So maybe a top takeaway and best way for people to reach you. And I know you have an offer you're going to give to our community. So the next and last question here is on partners. So type in #partners community. Appreciate you. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being on the show with us and participating in. And we appreciate you guys big time, more than you know. So and again, it looks like Susan Lynn. I don't remember seeing your name before, so we appreciate having you, Susan Lynn Castelli. Oh, I know Susan Castelli. The Lynn part threw me off, Susan. Sorry. But anyway, of course, Susan. But here, so we want to talk about partners. So how do you collaborate? How do you collaborate partners, have a collaborative partnership to help you become a luminary in your role? That's the question.
And that's one of my favorite topics, because I have so many different people that I've partnered with. And just recently, in fact, I have a very good colleague of mine and her name is Mary Sadat. I want to give her a shout out. Her and I are going to collaborate on one of my programs and one of her programs. But what the real beauty is that we trust each other. We have worked with each other, and we built this understanding of, we both, have our own companies. We do the work that we do, but we've come together to make something that will help others. And, that partnership, it can go into more opportunities, just one on top of the other, where all we have to do is have a conversation. We'll talk about, things that are happening in, our communities and our networks, and really think about how we can help other people. I've just really focused on, those partners that I want to bring into my community, where they have to have excellent core values, heart-centered, making sure that they're, trusted in their communities. And partners can be a great addition to any business, where you're, like I mentioned about the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, that's one of the best partnerships, I can say that we have in terms of, what we've developed. But then, I've also connected with Connected Women of Influence, which is a national organization. And our partnership has just really blossomed in so many different ways. So I think putting yourself out there and thinking in advance, how can I partner with this particular, whether they're a business owner or they're an entrepreneur or they're maybe they have an organization, and you want to really partner with them because you see that there is so much potential to help other people. And that's always been my focus, where when I'm partnering with people, it's always to help other people, not just serving myself, or my company, or, it's really developing and helping the masses, be in a situation where more people can connect and help each other once we, create this partnership.
That's great. Yeah. I one of my favorite movies, although I'm not so keen on the actor, if you will, but the movie First Night, and there's a line and it's about the Camelot and the Knights of the Round Table, and it's in the movie it says, "In serving each other, we become free." And to me, that's what true partnership is service of each other, not just, it's not one-sided. It's helping each other. Yeah,
exactly.
It's great stuff. So we're gonna close. I know you have a free offer. So tell, if you can, everyone about how the best way to reach you, and a little bit about this offer. And I'm going to try to post it also so that people could click the link as well. But tell us a little bit as we kind of start to wrap up, and anything else you want to close up with as we start to wind down the show.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I can't wait to get your book, Steve. So I'll get your book. But they could reach me on LinkedIn. So Shelley Harrison on LinkedIn. We have our YouTube channel too, so we'd love to have you watch the episode with Steve and I. He was my guest, and it's Luminary Leaders Live. And then our website is luminaryspeakers.com. So, folks can definitely reach us there. And I think, I had a couple of different offers, Steve, but I'm not sure which one did we share. And if you don't remember, I already have something I can share.
Authors that we both had on a show, or what do you mean?
Oh no, the offer that I had
offers.
sent you
Oh, I
that was the
apologize.
offer.
I put it up on the screen. Let me see if I get it up again.
Let's
This
see.
one is your free consultation. Apologies on that.
No, that's
30-minute
okay.
free
Oh, there
content
we go.
exploration.
Yeah, 30-minute. Yeah. So if anybody is interested, they've thought about speaking, or maybe they own a company and they want to be able to, maybe they're getting invited on shows or on stage, we could definitely have a conversation. And it's not a sales call. It's not salesy or pitchy. It's connecting, authentically connecting, and just really getting to know you and make sure that you're set up for success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, which is Cameron's company, Toth Event Staffing. For your event staffing needs, definitely reach out to Cameron and his team. They do an incredible job. It's very grateful and thankful for that. So really, I mean, our show, we're really about being the light, right? That's why I loved having you on talking about this topic, because it's really about, hey, we are the light, right? And there's a story about it. If you take your candle, you light your candle and you pass it and light somebody else's candle, your light doesn't go out, right? It just helps illuminate other people. So
helps other people.
So let's go out there, be the light, share this episode with people in your community. Make sure that you're uplifting somebody today. Say something nice to somebody today. There's enough negative in the news. Let's be positive out there. So. But we're going to end the show with how we normally do, Shelly, which we did. Basically, we count down. I'll use my fingers to count. You're welcome to do it with me. And then we shout out the word crush it. And then we pound. We put our fist into the camera. We don't break the camera, but we crush it. And we end the show that way. So, and I'll play a video to close us out. But again, very much appreciate you. So blessed. Make sure community go connect with Shelly, see what she's working on.
Yes, I would love more connections, and let's authentically connect.
And exactly, no pitching, right? We're ditching the pitch. No pitch slapping here. This is all authentic connecting going on here. So, all right. So we're gonna count down here. So you ready, Shelly?
I'm ready.
Ready?
I'm ready.
5,
4,
3,
3,
2, 1.
1.
Crush it!
Crush it! Oh, you can't see my thumb. There we go. Or my fist. There we go.
All right. Well,
crush it.
You have an incredible rest of the day. Make sure you go out and crush it. And I'm going to play a quick video and appreciate you. See next week. Oh, by the way, next week, don't miss 6/7. So a week from today, same bad time, same bad channel, episode 117. Wow. Overcoming the Imposter by my man, Chris Kelso. So don't miss it. It's gonna be incredible. I'll put the link to the episode in the chat. And you guys have an incredible day. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Steve.
Watch this. Hang out for the video.
And we are still